But man, I wanted to be like Mike.
I think the greatest player is Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan is the GOAT!
Sometimes I dream that he is me.
Like Mike, if I could be like Mike.
Be like Mike. That's a phrase that's been drilled into culture for decades. Every athlete, high performer, entrepreneur looks at Michael Jordan as the GOAT, the pinnacle of success and the blueprint to follow. But what if I told you that you're looking at the wrong person? Because while the world obsesses over Jordan, the key to his dominance and the reason he stayed at the top for so long was never just him. It was the man behind him. Meet Tim Grover. Never wanted to lose at anything. The man who took Jordan from great player to unmatched killer. He's the architect behind the relentless mentality that separated Jordan from every other star in NBA. But after Michael, Tim didn't just stop there. He trained Kobe, Dwayne Wade, some of the greatest of all time. He turned them into unstoppable forces. Yet ask the average person who Tim Grover is and they have no idea. And that's the paradox. Maybe the fame, the power isn't what matters. Maybe the real power is in being Tim Grover. Now here's where this applies to you. If you're building a brand, a business, an audience, and you're stuck here thinking that the story is about you, you're playing the wrong game. And if you don't fix this, you might still gain followers, but you'll spend the next 6 months grinding, posting, trying to be seen, and yet still feel invisible. In this video, I'll show you why Tim Grover's playbook is the single biggest unlock for coaches, entrepreneurs, creators right now. And by the end of this, you'll never look at personal branding the same way ever again. Everyone wants to be the icon, the star, Michael Jordan, the man who hits the game winners, who gets all of the spotlight. But what if I told you that Jordan wasn't even thinking like Jordan? Because while the world saw Jordan, the player, Jordan was thinking of himself as a product. And the architect behind that product was Tim Grover. Tim wasn't just a trainer, he was a brand architect, he was a storyteller. He knew something that most people, even most entrepreneurs, never figure out. The best brands in the world aren't about that person, they're about the stories that they tell. And if you're building a brand right now on YouTube, on Instagram, or just a business, you need to stop thinking like the star, like the icon, and you need to start thinking like the architect. Let's break this down. Right now, you're probably thinking like most people do. You're trying to position yourself as the GOAT. You're trying to make your content all about you. You're only talking about your expertise, your skills, and your wins. And you know what? That's why nobody cares, because people don't buy from the GOAT. They buy from the guide. Think about it. Jordan didn't need to tell people he was the best. He executed and he performed, and Tim Grover built the narrative behind the scenes, in the lab. And that's what you need to do for your brand too. Become the Tim Grover for your audience. And the mental shifts that change everything is that you are not the hero, your client is. You're not selling expertise, you're selling transformation. And you're not telling your story, you're shaping theirs. The moment that you shift from, hey, look at me content to, here's how you win storytelling, that's the moment that everything changes. Because the truth is, Michael Jordan wasn't the only player that Tim Grover made unstoppable. And if you know how to apply this framework, then you can do the exact same thing for your audience as well. Because right now, most entrepreneurs, they're thinking, I need to be the authority. I need to share my expertise so that people trust me. Except that doesn't work. It sounds logical, but it just doesn't work. Because attention isn't earned by expertise, it's earned by storytelling. Going back to Tim Grover, this man didn't need to be better at basketball than Michael Jordan, but he needed to tell stories that positioned him as the only person that could make the GOAT better. He built his brand not around his skills, but around the transformation that he created for others. And the thing that most people miss is that facts tell and stories sell. Let me prove it to you. So imagine you're selling discipline and mindset coaching. You have two options. One, you can say, discipline is key, you need to take action daily. Or two, you can tell a story. Michael Jordan didn't just train hard, he trained when no one was watching. One night at 3 a.m. he called Tim Grover and he said, meet me at the gym. That's the difference between average and relentless. The one that always sticks with people more is the story always. And that's why your content isn't converting. People buy from people, not from information machines. We have ChatGPT and Google for that, right? But people still need help. So you need to stop giving information and give emotion instead. Great, now we understand why facts don't sell and stories do, and how you can craft stories to make your audience obsessed. But the real problem is that attention doesn't pay the bills. Right now you might be thinking, oh, I get why storytelling is so powerful, but how do I actually turn that into clients? And yeah, just because people watch your content doesn't mean they automatically want to buy. Let's go back to Tim Grover one more time.
So I actually wrote letters to all the players on the Chicago Bulls organization. I wrote 14 letters to 14 different players. There are 15 players on a basketball team. The one person I did not write the letter to was Michael Jordan.
He thought that, well, why would Michael Jordan, the greatest player, want to work with me? But Jordan actually approached him, because the way that Tim approached everyone, the way that he approached his work, his results, they always spoke louder than his words. And your content needs to do the exact same thing. Right now, you might be over-delivering on information, but under-delivering on transformation. You're giving too much value, so people just take it and leave. Your content is great, but there's no clear path to the next step. And you think sales is about pitching, but it's really about positioning. The shift is that you don't need to sell people on why they should work with you, but you need to position yourself as the only option. Make them feel that there is no other alternative than to work with you. People don't buy when they understand you, they buy when they feel understood. And most creators aren't making their audience feel seen. And what does this mean in practice? Instead of answering questions, you need to be creating the right questions. Bad content just makes people say, that was helpful, but great content makes people say, damn, I need this right now. Your job isn't to educate, but it's to create desire. Tim Grover never needed to convince Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, or Dwayne Wade to work with him. Because his positioning was so strong, they were the ones that approached him. You need to create the same effect with your content. Your messaging should make them feel like you are their missing piece, and your CTA should make it easy for them to take action. So at this point, you have two options. You can continue making content the way that you do right now, hoping and praying that someone will reach out to you, wanting to work with you. Or you can start applying these shifts and make content do the selling for you. My name is Martin, and I help business owners create aesthetic brands and tell better stories so that they can attract their dream audience and their dream clients. Shoot me a DM on Instagram and I'll send you a full breakdown of how I can help you. Stop chasing and start attracting. Peace out.